They reconstruct.
Well, it's beautiful.
It's what we can do now with technology.
Right.
You know?
Right.
And it's just the most amazing kind of stuff.
Hold on tight, because Hollywood icon Morgan Freeman just shook up daytime TV with his fearless attitude. What happens when this legendary actor brings his opinions to a live show? The world watched as Morgan Freeman sat down on The View, and what happened there was so shocking.
I had a question, but we run out of time. Listen, this is extraordinary, this document.
Oh, yeah. I agree.
So, what was it that made the producers so nervous that they decided to end the segment unexpectedly? Let's get the tea.
Please welcome the incredible Morgan Freeman.
Freeman, one of Hollywood's most admired and recognizable actors, with a voice that demands attention and a career spanning nearly 6 decades, has always been fearless on the screen, whether he's portraying God or delivering Oscar-caliber performances. Recently, Freeman appeared on The View for what seemed to be a routine interview to promote his latest Netflix project, Life on Our Planet.
And how many times did I see black people in the movies? And if I did see them, what were they doing?
There were servants.
But when he started discussing subjects like Black history and climate change, the producers were taken aback by his frankness, and the conversation quickly shifted to unexpected territory. The producers granted the icon less than 10 minutes for the discussion of his new Netflix series. Hardly enough time for someone of Freeman's talent. But here's the twist the media doesn't want you to know. Was it just a simple matter of running out of time, or was there something more deliberate at play? You'll be the one to decide what really happened.
You're making sure people don't forget vital parts of our past, including this documentary that you executive produced called 761st. Did I get that right? Yeah, 761st Tank Battalion, the original Black Panthers.
The tension began when Sonny Hostin asked Freeman about his earlier documentary, which focused on the Black battalions in World War II.
First Black Armored Battalion.
Yes, and you served in the Air Force. I know that. This film was then very personal to you.
But the moment Freeman started correcting Hostin's comments regarding the documentary, the producers grew visibly bothered. That shift in her voice and the sudden uncomfortable expression said it all. Or perhaps the hosts feared he might share viewpoints that could be considered controversial or would create problems after the interview.
I'm movie buff from early childhood. I saw my first movie when I was like 6 years old. It was King Kong.
Oh, that was a good one.
Freeman began by expressing his love for movies.
Scared the hell out of me.
It did.
But I just, movies.
Yeah.
Making a sarcastic remark about his first film, King Kong, and then with the skill of a seasoned storyteller, he redirected the conversation to discuss the representation of Black people in Hollywood.
And how many times did I see black people in the movies? And if I did see them, what were they doing?
He emphasized how Black actors were often characterized into specific roles, and one of the hosts agreed with him. But that nod didn't seem so content. So, the real controversy began when Goldberg stepped in.
It's a period
It's not her
of time
fault,
that
it's
the
the
movies
period.
were made.
It's
just
upsetting
what they
to
were
watch,
doing.
tell you the
Well,
truth.
it shouldn't be that way
It
because
is.
somebody did make money.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Whoopi Goldberg suggested that such films were reflective of the historical realities of certain periods. Her comments aimed to highlight how these portrayals showed the societal norms and struggles of those times.
And now that's the time. Now look at today, things, we were always in flux.
Yeah.
Always.
But we've always been here.
But Freeman pushed back. He emphasized that while many did struggle, there were also numerous Black individuals who found success and stability, stories that were rarely depicted on screen. His point seemed clear to me, but perhaps Goldberg didn't agree with him, or perhaps she had to agree with him.
There were servants.
Right.
They were always, I know, it's appalling.
I can give you the name.
If you watch old movies, Betty Davis movies.
As Freeman expressed more of his thoughts, it seemed that the anxiety among the producers began to grow. Freeman's remarks were perceived as intense and potentially disruptive to the carefully curated narrative of the show.
Now look at today, things, we're always in flux.
Yeah.
Always.
In response, producers quickly signaled to Whoopi Goldberg to conclude the interview, cutting Freeman's time short and abruptly ending the segment. You could almost see behind-the-scenes chaos reflected in Goldberg's sudden shift of attention, her eyes dashing to the camera, signaling the unexpected turn of events.
Life on the planet is in a little bit of trouble. And we're the cause of it.
That's right.
There have been, if I remember correctly, 6 extinction-level events on the planet since life.
Freeman did manage to discuss his thoughts on the innovative nature of his new Netflix series, but his limited airtime sparked outrage among his followers. The abrupt closing of Freeman's interview led viewers to react angrily, and many took to social media to vent their dissatisfaction. On platforms like YouTube, under clips of the episode, fans expressed their frustration and slammed the show for what they perceived as disrespect towards a legendary figure. Here are some of the tweets from fans that clearly shock you. It was great when the media called him the narrator for obvious reasons several years ago. I don't understand why guests of his caliber get one rushed-through segment while reality TV personalities and pure fluff get 2 segments. I wanted to hear more from him. They have all the time in the world to let Joy ramble on with her hate-filled diatribes, but not enough time to let a great, upstanding man like Morgan Freeman speak? Whoopi Goldberg came under fire for her role in the sudden end of the interview. Some fans were particularly frustrated by how Goldberg seemed to exercise her authority to cut the segment short, as if to remind everyone who really held the power. Interesting how they let him speak for only 5 minutes. I guess producer's head was exploding once he started to go into Black history and facts about it. Mrs. Goldberg got a heads up by the producers, and it was so funny to watch that moment. 6 minutes ain't gonna be enough for the almighty Morgan Freeman. Can't stand The View. If they don't agree with your opinions, they'll bash you for it or cut you off. Morgan Freeman, love him. He seems an amazing person as well as caring.
So you think my voice is sexy?
I think a lot of people do.
Well, no. You didn't answer my question.
I don't know if sexy is the word I'd use.
See?
It makes me feel some kind of way, though.
This isn't the first time Freeman has found himself involved in unnecessary controversy. The actor has faced significant scrutiny in the past, mainly over allegations of sexual harassment.
Jasmine Simpkins from Hip Hollywood.
Jasmine.
Yes, that's actually kind of how they spelled it.
The claims led to a wave of public outcry, with fans and onlookers expressing shock and disappointment. Reports suggested Freeman had made inappropriate advances and comments to several women, which tainted his reputation in Hollywood and caused a considerable stir.
Now, the 80-year-old star is apologizing for his behavior. In a CNN report, 8 women claimed Freeman sexually harassed them or subjected them to inappropriate behavior on movie sets and in other professional settings.
But Freeman didn't sit back and enjoy it. He apologized on media, saying, "Anyone who knows me or has worked with me knows I'm not someone who would intentionally offend or knowingly make anyone feel uneasy. I apologize to anyone who felt uncomfortable or disrespected. That was never my intent." His involvement in various media projects, including voiceovers for Warner Media, only added to the discussion, highlighting how the controversy had broader implications for his career and public image. Morgan Freeman's candid remarks and the show's sudden end have sparked a lot of debate about media control and free speech. What are your thoughts on how the interview was handled? Do you think The View was right to cut Freeman's interview short, or was it an attempt to silence controversial opinions? Do let us know your views in the comments below.